Hello. We almost had
Almost. So close.
We were so close. Hello. Welcome back. We are here with another Monday. It's us. As you can tell, this is not Mace.
We're not saying you're not pretty, Daniel.
She's not changed, but it's also not Mace. Mace had some family stuff come up, and she's sorry she couldn't make it, but she promises she will eventually. It's what, when you're a nerd, you're used to it, actually.
Checks in the mail.
It happens. I've been told that my whole life. But we have a special guest. He's a helicopter pilot, close friend of the show, Daniel Flores, author of South of Heaven, My Year in Afghanistan, having flown, we've talked about it, Apaches, which you spent a year there. So is it better or worse to be in Afghanistan than the Abraham Lincoln?
Nobody has it as bad as the Navy. Oh, my God. That's a federal prison on that carrier, I would imagine.
Apparently, yeah.
We ruffled a few feathers with that discussion last week, so we're looking to ruffle a few more this week.
Why not?
We'll get the Army side of things. And you flew for Customs, and now you're living the good life, flying Bell 407s, and you said H-145s. You flying both?
Yep, fly both of those.
Great. So we're glad to have you. We're going to talk with you about a couple helicopter things, and then we've got a special guest after you for real quick. We're not going to ruin the surprise.
That's right. We can't mess up the timing here, Mover.
Yeah,
it's kind of like a flyover.
I don't even know. It's a huge surprise.
Yeah, surprise. So anyway, we won't dilly-dally. We'll talk about our catchings up later, but we're glad to have you, Daniel. We appreciate
thanks for coming.
You joining us for this.
Short notice, too. Thank you.
Yeah. Glad to be on board.
He's awesome. All right, moving on to our first topic. Doug, if you would, there's video from, I've got too many people. How do I get, what's happening here?
Controls release.
There we go. So we've got a really sad, tragic mishap last week involving a Pennsylvania State Police helicopter and a Cessna 150. There's video. It's pretty graphic. Doug, roll the tape. So you see here, the Bell 407 was hovering in the grass, and the Cessna just, for whatever reason, veers toward it. And unfortunately, it killed the pilot of that Cessna. Did not kill the two helicopter pilots, pilot and TFO, I believe. And they were actually just recently released from the emergency room or the hospital with injuries. So we've got, I wanted to ask Daniel, because you're obviously very experienced in this sort of thing, right? You've done a lot of helicopter operations. There are a lot of prevailing theories. There's been a couple channels that have put out videos, and a lot of the talk is about people call it wake turbulence, but it's really rotor wash. It's the force of the helicopter creating lift with the main rotor. And so I want to look at the ADS-B data real quick, because it tells a little bit of a story. So what you see here is the helicopter was doing, I think they were doing some training over to the east, and they came back via straight in to the runway itself, and it's an uncontrolled non-tower field at Carlisle. So it's position reports only. You're not talking to a tower. It's not ATC controlled or anything like that. And there's actually no requirement to talk. It's a good idea, but per the CFRs, you're not mandated to do so. And sometimes people don't, but they were doing position reports and everybody was talking. So they come to the runway here at 2251, 40 knot approach, and then they slow down to about 23 knots in a kind of a hover taxi, and then 12 knots, and then sidestep off the runway here, 2251. If you look at the data from the Cessna, there really is incomplete information, because the ADS-B stops, from what I could find, at about 2251 as well. And it's way over here. So we don't actually know specifically what time they collided, but the Cessna basically crosses over the field, comes back around, enters a downwind, and then to a left base and lands. NTSB had talked about that it had actually been kind of a maintenance flight where he was working on the aircraft and went and flew out for a little while and then came back. But again, you see it's incomplete data. So when you talk about the helicopter operations and stuff like that, obviously helicopters create lift in different ways, whether it's in a in-ground effect hover, out-of-ground effect hover, translational lift, it's flying more like an airplane or whatever. Daniel, when you saw this or when you see this, just based on the information available, what kind of comes to your mind? Obviously, we're going to allow the NTSB to do their investigation, but just explain to us, I guess, how the 407 and kind of the wake turbulence stuff, because I have seen a lot of misconceptions from, they like to point out the CAL FIRE helicopter where it took out a Cessna, but that was a totally different situation because that one was probably 50 to 75 feet and it was in forward flight, which is a totally different, and the aircraft was lower versus hovering 50 to 100 feet away from the runway.
Yeah, that the one in California, you're right. That Huey, which obviously was close to, well, its max weight is 10,000 pounds. Who knows how much it weighed there, but that puts out a much larger rotor wash, and it was much higher. And judging by that, what Super Cub or whatever that it rolled over, yeah, it looked like that Super Cub that hit that rotor wash over the runway and ended up flipping over towards that Huey. On this one here, this 407, just from the ADSB stuff, looks to me like they were doing a normal approach to landing, slowing down, and whether they were talking to the Cessna or not, they were getting off the runway. Depending on the winds, really depends. Pretty much tells you which way the rotor wash actually went. Did it stay on the runway? Did it move slightly right or left of center line? And if so, was it all the way at the end, or I mean at the approach end? Just look at that video. It looks to me like it's pure speculation that the 152 probably was about to land at the approach end, got into the rotor wash, and tried to do a go around, and basically got behind the power curve, judging by how nose high he was, and rolling to the right. So that's the best I could figure on that. Rotor wash, like it says in the AIM, is that it's even on small helicopters. Well, maybe not R-22, but on a 407, you're going to get the same amount of energy off a rotor wash on a 407 as you would, I would say, probably a Gulfstream or something that size. I mean, it's pretty strong. The 407 weighs about 5,250 pounds. Being a law enforcement helicopter with cameras and the radios and stuff like that, they were probably, I wouldn't say at 5,250 pounds, but I'd say they were up there at 3/4 max gross weight. Because if they just flew from, where's that, the city to that airport was only, about a 10-minute flight, 15-minute flight. So you don't burn that much gas. So they were putting out pretty good rotor wash. And kind of like the AIM says, you got to watch it. The 3-2-2 rule, it's 3 rotor discs away from a helicopter is the rotor wash can get out to. And then 2 minutes from the time the aircraft lands to the time the rotor wash should dissipate, obviously depending on winds. And then the last 2 was the 2 miles. Give them at least a 2-mile head start on you before you go fly. You'll follow them in there. That Cessna landed right behind that 407, so he was right there in it. Whether that was the reason he lost control and hit it, that's left to the NTSB after they do their investigation.
Yeah, so the winds, the nearest METAR was 15 miles away, 270 at 6 knots or 270 at 5 knots. So right down the runway, 5 knots, very light. The thing, I think there's a distinction here because I have heard people say the rotor wash of the helicopter in hover, quote unquote, sucked it in. I don't personally see that because I mean the way the rotor, it's down and then it outflows and then it, you know, it swirls off the tips.
Swirls back around. Yeah.
Yeah. However, if we knew the time difference, like you talked about, the even 3 minutes, 2 to 3 minutes, if they were right behind, it's not from the hover, it's from his initial approach,
Right.
you know, and landing. And the responsibility, correct me if I'm wrong, for any aviator with an untowered or uncontrolled field for wake turbulence avoidance, the onus is on the pilot that is behind the pilot that is encountering this. They're the ones that need to time it. You know, it's your responsibility. It's not on the helicopter pilots to determine that. It's on the Cessna pilot. Unfortunately, I mean, you know, man lost his life. If that's even the case, you know, we don't know if he had mechanical problem or if, like you said, he started to go around, got behind. How, from what I understand, he was a very experienced, I think, instructor. You know, he was a doctor, but he was an instructor. You know, he had a bunch of time, so you know, it wasn't like a student pilot or something like that. But one of the things I was looking at is the hovering where they were, you know, in the grass. And my question to that would be, what were they training? Because sometimes we will go and, you know, you'll have like a new TFO or somebody, you'll let them, you know, practice for emergency procedures, kind of get into a hover or something like that. Is there any consideration as far as where to do the hover versus how close you are to the runway?
Yeah, absolutely. With CBP, whenever we would do any training at the airport up here, we would get as far away as we could from the runway, as fast as we could, specifically for reasons like this. On my, you know, even on my crash in the Apache, I'd read the report afterwards of the Learjet pilot, and even though he said he saw us as we were exiting the runway ahead of him, he was well within 1 mile behind us. They asked him a question about, well, do you think, well, obviously he didn't hit us because there was no damage on that. But he said, no, he had plenty of space, but I know it must have been close because their right wing lifted right as they flared on landing. And he said it startled them. That tells me that they were really close and got, you know, the rotor wash off the Apache as we were already off the runway. So anyway, yeah, with customs or law enforcement, I should say, in training and all, yeah, we stay away from the runways unless we're doing run-on landings, you know, and we have to use the runway. But even finding slope landings and stuff like that, we get as far away from the runway as we can. You never know, man. Airplanes with student pilots get off the runway, you never know. And it also goes back to liability-wise. I don't know if you remember this way back in the 1900s, like the early 90s, the Customs Black Hawk ended up doing a ramp stop on an airplane down there in Florida, and they landed behind the light twin prop plane and ended up flipping it over on its end. And there's a big lawsuit on all that because obviously the family that was in the airplane, they were not drug runners. Obviously the customs pilots back then didn't know that at the time. They were doing a regular ramp stop, but in the Black Hawk, it from behind, and they were on the ground taxiing up to them, it flipped that airplane over. Nobody was killed on it, but there was a huge lawsuit on that sort of stuff. So that was drilled into us big time. Don't hover around the runways and on ramps and stuff like that. Yeah, we definitely stay away from fixed wing and anything else that's tied down or not.
But they still have the right. Like, so, because what I don't want to have, I don't want to blame the troopers, because one of the trends I see is public doesn't understand helicopters, and the first thing they want to do is blame the helicopter. Then it's law enforcement on top of that, which people want to blame law enforcement on that. From a legal perspective, was there anything wrong with going, you know, doing an approach to the runway and then sidestepping to hover off into the grass?
No.
Yeah.
No. I didn't see that in any of the FARs, and the AIM really basically says, you know, avoid the flow of fixed wing traffic, and that's pretty much it.
And they were talking, so they were on they were using position reports, and at least according to what the NTSB has said now, they were at least talking. Obviously, the NTSB's got the data now, and they're going to be able to pull that data and figure out more specifically, obviously our ADS-B data stops at base, so we don't know exactly what time. But I think it's interesting, though, the point you brought up about the time for the wake to dissipate from the approach versus just sitting in a hover.
Yeah, 2 minutes is what the AIM says.
Yeah,
And,
I don't know that they had 2 minutes. I mean,
Yeah.
we'd have to look at the time.
Yeah, it didn't look like they did. But well, then again, I mean, we don't know.
Yeah.
But that helicopter, the 407, was at least, just really rough guesstimate on the video, he was at least 75 feet, away from the runway.
What's a rotor disc? How, like 30 something feet?
I think it's 38, 39 feet.
Yeah, so you're 120 feet ish to get
Yeah.
something like that, 100 feet.
But if he was still slowly hovering, I mean, you really couldn't tell the speed on the 407 from that video. But if he was still getting further away from the runway,
Yeah,
we don't know.
yeah. Well, and it's not going to be like a airline investigation or military. The data that they have is just whatever the avionics give them, right? So
Yeah.
that's the other piece that's going to be something.
Yeah,
Gonky,
sad.
what do you think, man? You've been quiet. You flew Cessnas.
Yeah, it's crazy listening to you guys talk about wake turbulence, because I was a CFI double I taught in 141 schools and as part 61, which is your mom and pop operation. And a lot, I'm digging 20 plus years, but I mean, it wasn't uncommon to have police helicopters come in our little field there in New Philly, Ohio. And I cannot remember, like Daniel, you talked about the rule of thumb for helicopter wake turbulence, like does not ring a bell in my head. And I don't, as a fixed wing CFI double I with quite a bit of experience teaching, man, I don't remember ever like really worrying about that. I don't remember any of my instructors teaching me about the dangers of helicopter wake turbulence. We talked all the time about big airplanes and stuff like that ahead of us, but which kind of raises the hair on my back a little bit, right? Because I mean, I think in aviation, I'd rather be lucky than good. Because I can't. I mean, honestly, if I saw a helicopter, 20-year-old me, if I saw a helicopter on the side of the field hovering like that, I probably wouldn't consider it a danger in my little Cessna training a student. So that's pretty eye-opening. I don't know. Maybe they've hopefully instruction has gotten better since I went through and they're teaching fixed wing.
Well, I mean, Gonky, to your point, and Daniel, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but at least from my training, the emphasis for us is about flying over things, knocking things over, what you're going to kick up. There's not a whole lot of emphasis on our side either of, hey, you might create a wake, approaching for a small Cessna, right? I mean, it's not something I operate a lot out of non-towered fields or just nowhere, there's no control, but I don't know, Daniel, I mean, is that something,
Well,
obviously
for me,
you have experience with it.
right. And I do. And I say this, even when I first got on with the CMS gig, we had to do a public relations flight. And I was told at the last second, I got to go land at this church parking lot. And there was going to be a bunch of circus tents and horses and all that from the police department, all that there. And I called my boss on the phone saying, hey, look, you need to let them know that when I come in, before I come in, you need to tie down the tents, move the horses off to the side and all, because I don't want to be that guy who says, man, I didn't mean to have a rotor wash at your Black Panther party, but that's what's going to happen. And and I'm going to tell you right now, they moved a lot of stuff. But even when I came in, and this was in the EC-145, that thing puts out a tremendous rotor wash for its size. Sure enough, man, I blew tents all over the place. And the funny thing was, everybody on the ground that got their stuff blown around and everything, they still came up to the helicopter saying, man, that's the coolest thing that ever happened and all that. And like, thank God nobody was hurt, but I tried to tell them. But people just don't realize.
And even, the higher you are, relative to ground effect, the worse it gets, right? Because the outwash, if you're higher power setting, out of ground effect or close to being out of ground effect, now you're generating more, it's required to generate more lift. It's just, the aerodynamics of the thing. So in this case, they were hovering pretty low, right? Which,
Yeah.
if they'd have been at 50 feet, I could, that's why I go back to the hover is not the same as the approach. Because the hover, if they'd have been like out of ground effect 50 to 100 feet and that Cessna's underneath, 100%. But when you're, skid height 5 feet off the ground, I don't think there could be it's going to be a Swiss cheese, right? It's going to be multiple factors that led to this that they're going to find. But I don't know. Gonky, you were about to say something. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I mean, I'll speak from the fixed wing side. I mean, looking at that ASB data, it looks like he flew over the field, right, to see kind of what the winds were doing, did the standard downwind to land. And I have not heard the comms. And to y'all's point about on the helicopter side, maybe they're not teaching as much as they should as far as the dangers of how, what the rotor wash can do. But, for example, if I'm in an Airbus going into uncontrolled field, and as soon as we touch down, I hear a Cessna 150, roll in a quarter mile final behind us, I'm probably going to give a sugar call like, dude, you better take it around. For sure, there's some wake turbulence here. So I don't know exactly how much time transpired between exactly when the helicopter set down and the Cessna 150 rolled into final. But I mean, maybe with some better training on both sides of the communities, maybe
just
in the
education.
future.
Yeah, just some education.
This could be
because when I go to non-towered field, I don't even go to the runway, unless it's the only place to go. I'll go to the taxiway, I'll try to avoid where possible, but you just sometimes who knows what was going on in the Cessna. Like he might have had some kind of urgency to want to get on the ground and wasn't thinking, hey, I need to be 2 minutes behind.
Yeah.
Well, sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Go ahead.
The other thing is, how many times did you ever even see helicopters when you were doing flight instructing? I mean, that is super rare. And even at
you're right.
Yeah, the airport I'm at, the only time the helicopters show up there is when the EMS helicopters show up to get gas, and that's it. And it's got a bunch of fixed wing, flight training going on. But
but they would. You're right. They would land and go to where they're getting gas shut down.
Yeah.
It's not like they were sitting there in a hover. And then the last thing I'll say from a fixed wing perspective, and Daniel, you touched on it with, the Gulfstream wing raising and being startled. I could see a startle factor in the Cessna 150. I remember in the Cessna 150, like, it's super hard to do a go around if you don't get the flaps out of full for landing.
That's what happened to wasn't it Dan Grider that had the flaps and ended up in the cornfield for that very thing?
Almost happened to me as a new instructor.
That's a common thing in the 150.
100%, dude. So a wing, does its thing. You're startled. You go to full power. You pull back, and I mean, you're super in that airplane. You're super behind the power curve, like at max performance almost. So like with the flaps all the way down, I could see how you could very quickly, like you were talking about, Daniel, with a wing disturbance like that. I could see very, very quickly how you could go from bad to worse in the 150. I'm not saying, he forgot to move the flaps, but
I mean, that Grider was a very experienced pilot, and I think they were at the flaps 4. What's the lowest flap set? Is it 40?
I forget. All the way down. I remember.
Yeah, I think it is a known issue with that aircraft. So you're right. I mean, I remember watching that.
I almost hit the trees at the end of the runway in that thing. So that's that's from a fixed wing point of view. But I mean, it's eye opening. Listen, you guys talk, because I don't recall any real training about
just the wake turn. I mean, if you had to read the AIM, and the AIM has one paragraph,
right?
And to your point, Daniel, because I got it pulled up, it talks about the rotor discs, which again, to a Cessna pilot, what's a rotor disc? And it does not even mention the time. The time is something we know. The time is like it says, behind a heavy jet, behind this, large aircraft to small aircraft. But it doesn't say, hey, a helicopter should be treated like a business jet,
or bigger.
Yeah. Get your take the whole 3 minutes. Just do another lap if you have to. But no, that's interesting. And as a helicopter pilot, I flew this weekend. It makes me more cognizant of, what I'm doing. Like I am now, like, after seeing the horrific nature of this crash, you go, oh, I don't want to be a part of this. Let me be even more. I was cautious before, but I'm even more cautious now.
Yeah.
So, I watched EC 145 at. You've actually landed there at the Lakefront Hospital, and Yeah, because I remember you were telling me about. He took off straight up, like
Yeah.
just straight vertical, and then he held it in this like 100-foot hover for. I was like, dude, are you ever gonna go? Like he was just holding. I don't know if he was talking to somebody or waiting for something, and then they went. And I was like, he must have wanted to get out of blowing stuff over.
Yeah, on the EMS world, that EC140, EC145, I do this. I say we do the same thing. You got to get up out of ground effect to one. Once you get going, moving forward, you don't want to start descending. And if there's trees up ahead or a building or something like that, you don't want to start descending. You want to start from a higher perspective. If the engine quits, you're coming straight back down to the landing pad. That's why we go straight up from that. And
Gotcha.
on the takeoffs like that.
All right, moving on to our next one. Let's see if there's anything that's relevant. Bob says, I used to do go around ground crew pulling externals with CH-53s. Yeah, rotor wash is a thing. And then Ethor says, look at Gonky repping old T County.
Tuscarawas County. That's right.
Yeah. And then Boris says, lately there hasn't been a single weekend where I don't see the news and think to myself, this is going to be on the Mover and Gonky show on Monday. That's sad. All right. Well, speaking of stuff that's made the Mover and Gonky show, this one is going to be near and dear to our guest's heart. The Army has announced that it is going to go with the R-66. And it says, this was a couple weeks ago. We didn't get to cover it, but the Army has announced today on August 13th, Flight School next contract to M1 Support Services LP Denton, Texas, marking a major step in transforming how the Army trains future rotary wing aviators. Provide initial rotary wing training for 800 to 1,500 Army pilots annually using a contractor-owned, contractor-operated solution with commercially available services and equipment at Fort Rucker, Alabama. Designed to modernize the Army's aviation training enterprise, producing highly proficient initial entry aviators, significantly lower cost. The fixed price, indefinite delivery, indefinite quantity contract with a combined cumulative total of, Gonky, how many zeros is that?
More than I have.
Billion.
Yeah. $10 billion for up to $10 billion for up to 26 years. Go buy M1 stock immediately. First task order will support the contractor's transition, is expected to cover a 3 to 4 year period in accordance with the approved transition point. Execute using commercial solutions opening approach, enable them to leverage commercial innovation and proven industry capabilities. It is obviously, there's a whole lot of words here, but it is replacing the Lakota, and the competition was the Bell 505. And this will start here in the next few years. Provide a sustainable, modernized training enterprise capable of supporting Army aviation requirements through Army 2030 and beyond. So R66, for those of you that don't know, we'll pull that up, is the Robinson helicopter with, well, a turbine. So here you go. That's the R66. Obviously with an American tail and probably not that dude in the back. But you can see here, a lot of people don't like the old handlebar. But Daniel, as our resident Army aviator, what say you? Good, bad, or ugly?
No, I think it's good. I went through Army flight school in the Huey Bago, and I remember I already had my what do you call it? I already had my private pilot airplane license. So I say transitioning over to helicopters, and the Huey was it was still pretty. Yeah, it was a slap to the face, but it wasn't as bad as other guys that were starting from nothing and going into flight school. Turbine engine, yes, a hydraulic system, and that's about it. So I'm glad I did it. I think it was a little much because they just transitioned out of the TH-55 out of the Army and flight school. So going, then they went to the OH-58 or the Jet Ranger for a couple of years, and then they went to the Lakota. The Lakota is not a training aircraft. It's a high performance aircraft, plain and simple. Mm-hmm. So for the Army to have used it as a training initial entry rotary wing training aircraft, man, that's drinking from a fire hydrant big time for a lot of people. And so going to the R66, I think across the board, a lot of pros to it. I think the only cons to it are going to be people saying like, I don't want to be flying in a Robbie and, that whole history and that sort of stuff, which, suck it up, Buttercup. The R66, it's cheaper. It's a turbine engine. It's at least has modern avionics with the Garmin in it. So, even for those guys that, never get out of the helicopters, whatever, and they try to come to the civilian world, at least they know how to run a Garmin navigation system, a radio system and all. That's a huge deal. With the guys that come out of the military into the EMS world, it's like, wow, how do you work this navigation and the radios and all? Because, that's not what we use in the military. So, I think the other fact that it's based here in the United States in California, the company, I don't think we have to worry about the Chinese and getting spare parts from Temu and stuff like that. And, any other, what do you call that? Shipping delays and stuff like that. It said only flew the R-22 for 30 minutes with an instructor.
Oh, wow.
And that T-bar was pretty interesting for the cyclic. But from what I understand, if a student is starting to get into the pilot-induced oscillations on hovering, learning how to hover and stuff, all the instructor's got to do is pull hard, pull that cyclic out of his hand, and he's got control of it. I think that's probably better than having two simultaneous sticks hooked together with the same hydraulics, because you get some of them students and they're strong and they'll overpower you on something like that. And which is why in the Cobra helicopter, in the training version of the Cobra, the front seat had a side stick controller like an F-16, and the collective was kind of like a fore aft, not an up and down like a normal cyclic.
Like a throttle almost. Yeah,
almost like a throttle and all. And that's because of the room in the front. But the side stick controller on the Cobra, the training one, had extra boost on it for extra power steering boost, because the student in the back with that big long cyclic stick, he could overpower that instructor real easy with that short cyclic in the front. So I think that little R66 and that T-bar cyclic, I think it's pretty good. It looks kind of weird, but get over it again and all. But I think overall, I think it's a good deal. $10 billion. Eesh, that's
my only complaint is the cyclic, to be honest with you, and it always has been. I've flown Robinson's R-22s, R-44s, and I've got like 3 hours in the R-66. It's a good helicopter. I mean, it's stable. It's still teaching you the stick and rudder, if you will, which the Lakota did not.
No.
And I've heard of a lot of regression in skills based on learning in that to start out. Not that the Lakota is not a good helicopter, because I think it's a good helicopter. It's based on a very good helicopter. But to start someone out in a twin engine, fully automated system, you're not doing autos, full down autos. You're not doing all the basic stuff. You could keep your feet flat on the floor almost, with that helicopter versus in a Robinson. Look, dude, every pull up is you're working. It's not going to do it for you. You're going to get the hey, you got to add pedal here and you got to pull, you got to have your feet coordinated and all that stuff. So from that perspective, it is. I just wonder why not just go with an R44 then? If your whole goal is for stick and rudder, basic skills, why not a piston? But I do understand, right? I mean, there's a little bit of a nuance with doing turbine, but old Lester that used to teach me, he's like, I'm teaching you the turbine standards. And what he meant was, how you pull torque in a turbine helicopter versus how you manifold pressure.
Right.
That mentality was able to translate over to turbines when I went to turbines. So I don't know. It would have saved them a lot more money, but I understand why they did the turbine here. The R66 is air conditioned, which I'm wondering if the Army's going to make them pull out the air conditioning just for the just because
it's the Army.
Just because it's the Army. I mean, dude, you don't need helmets. You just fly it around with your Bose headset, and flip-flops and a t-shirt and just go fly. I think it will make better Army pilots. And like you said, the cost, parts availability, M1, we have experience with Gonky M1 with the T-38. They were our contractor for maintenance for that aircraft, and they were outstanding. You know, it's a good company. It's an American company. It's Texas-based. You know, I think that's a win. I don't know. Gonky, what do you think, man?
Well, as a fighter pilot, I think the Lakota looks better. That's the extent of my knowledge. No, but it's funny you bring up so the Lakota doesn't have air conditioning, right?
They took it out.
Yeah. So
The Army did.
Yeah,
so-
H-145 does, right?
Right,
the
we have an air
Golf, yeah,
conditioner.
and it has an air conditioner.
right. So the
Not great.
helicopter. Yeah. So the helicopter they're buying is going to have AC. It's funny because I was racing dirt bikes this weekend and I actually met a Army warrant officer who flew Blackhawks, and he was teaching at Rucker. And just on his own, he's like, "Oh yeah," he's like, "I'm glad we're replacing Lakota." I was like, "And why is that?" He's like, "No air conditioning." I'm like, "That probably gets pretty hot in there." So no, but like I said, as a fighter pilot, man, the Lakota looks better. But you know what? I'm older now. I'll take air conditioning.
Big time. And you're right there, Mover, on the stick and rudder skills. When you start off in something like a Robbie, 66, 22, or 44, you're going to learn that big time. And it's going to translate over into the big airframes in finesse, in control touch and all. It's going to definitely move over on that. I agree with you. I think we should have gone with the piston-powered one. That way it teaches you better power management and how much you have, when you're running the governor and the collective and the pedals and all, you realize that, wow, I've really got to watch my power across the board. That translates over into the big rigs. And I think piston powered engine and an R44 would have been a better choice. But yeah, the R66 fine.
Well, so a lot of people are, they hate Robinsons, and it's unfounded, mostly because the statistics tell a story that is incomplete. A lot of people look at the Robinson statistics and they go, "Oh, it crashes a lot." Well, it is the most affordable, widely proliferated helicopter in existence, right? It's used more in training than anything else. It's in more countries. People in some countries are using it for extreme things like cattle wrangling and, flying it way outside of the envelope. But they've also done modifications with the horizontal stabilizer because mass bumping is a threat for any teetering rotor system.
Yep.
And it is, the Robinson had that tendency to get low G and roll, and that would be a very catastrophic situation. Well, they added the horizontal stabilizer. I don't know if that's what it's called, but it's just basically, and it has prevented a lot of that. I talked to a guy who teaches in Robinson. He's like, "Dude, we've gone out and done some wild things with it since they've done that. And it's very hard to get yourself in that situation." So it is a safe helicopter, single engine versus twin engine. Yeah. I mean, that's going to be a thing, but it's a reliable, what is it? Is it a Saffron? It's not a Saffron. Is it a RR? I don't remember which engine the R66 has.
Yeah, I don't know.
But it's a very reliable engine. I mean, I've talked to, like I said, Lester flies an R66, and the maintenance on that, as far as cost per hour, you cannot get a better value from a turbine helicopter. And the thing is fast. It's a fast it'll do every bit of 120 plus knots. If you let it. I mean, it likes to stay around 110, but it's, 110 to 120, it'll do it. And, while and it's wider. So the R66 cabin actually has a space for luggage now that the R44 doesn't. So you can carry your golf clubs, but I don't know if it's big enough for that, but it's a wider cabin. So, your big country dudes aren't going to be scooched in, it's wider than the 44, but I've flown it, like I said, a couple times. I've enjoyed it. It's different. But I do think it's going to make better aviators overall, especially if they start doing, full down autos and all the stuff that you need. I heard they weren't even doing like autos to a spike. I talked to a girl that was flying Lakotas, and I said, "Hey, when y'all do, do you do commercial standards for your auto rotation?" She's like, "No, we just go to the runway." I said, "But do you pick a spot, right?" Like, "No, just to the runway." I'm like, "But you don't have like within 75 feet, you gotta," "No, just to the runway."
Wow. And do they even bring the engines back to idle? Do you know? I don't know. I doubt it, because obviously it's better to wreck somebody else's equipment than your own. And that's why
they probably just do they even roll it off? No, I think they just lower the collective.
Yeah,
I think that was their. They don't roll it off like we do, and I'm like, what do you mean you don't roll it off?
Yeah. Other than a bunch of autos in the Huey in initial entry, and we did autos to the ground in the Cobra in flight training and all. But after that, the next time I ever did autos was with Customs and Border Protection, and that was with the guys out there at Hellstream out there in California. That just like I was saying, it's better to wreck somebody else's stuff than your own. And we did all of our training, annual recurrent training out there in California with Hellstream. Those guys were fantastic. I mean, we were doing, reverse autos, 180 autos.
Wow.
And we were doing all sorts of stuff to the ground with the engines all the way to idle.
Did you fly the Blackhawk at Customs?
No.
I've heard Customs isn't doing type ratings for those.
No, you get them with flight safety.
Oh, I heard they weren't sending guys to do it. They were just doing their in-house training, and because they're public use, so they don't have to. And I'm like, okay.
Probably. Like, so I never dealt with the Blackhawk,
so to speak. Awesome. Well, Daniel, we do appreciate you coming on the show. We've taken up enough of your time. Go check out his book. It's on Amazon. It is South of Heaven, My Year in Afghanistan. Let me get rid of that banner. My Year in Afghanistan. And we've talked about your book. It's a very good book. Are you working on a sequel?
Actually, I'm rewriting it as we speak. I'm adding all the stuff that I found out after talking to the guys when we made the movie Above the Best, which is based on my book. I found out a bunch of things that had happened. I'm rewriting the book and adding all that in there. Just got the contract today. I'm having it translated into Spanish. I'm going to be pushing it there into Mexico. And
are you reading your own audiobook?
Do I know?
Are you going to read your own audiobook in Spanish?
Yo quiero Taco Bell. That's about all I can do on that one. But just got a call about 2 months ago. The original guys from the movie Above the Best. We're going to be making another movie more about like freedom fighters and the Ukrainian war and all, and that sort of stuff. So a lot, whether I liked it or not, a lot of is working forward.
Hell yeah.
Awesome.
Oh yeah. Well, we appreciate your time, and thank you for being an advocate for helicopters and cool flying and mental health, because we've talked about that on the show as well. So once again, welcome anytime. Thanks for being a part of this.
Thanks for having me on board. See you, Gonky.
Right. Have a good night.
See you, Doug.
Awesome.
I did not.
Gonky, you can wake up again.
Say goodbye.
Oh, dude, helicopter
welcome,
stuff. It's
welcome to the show, Gonky.
Right, it's
how are you?
Up here.
How have you been?
I've been good. I mean, we're past the 30-minute mark.
I know. He's running late.
Okay.
I got a text. Apparently they were, I don't know.
Well, how was your week, sir?
I did stuff.
Like?
I drove a Tesla. Well,
dang.
No, I rode in a Tesla.
Did it drive you?
It drove me. It drove me. And I got to find out that the Tesla community is more toxic than the flight simulation community on YouTube.
Oh, dude, 1,000.
They're mean.
Don't say
mean.
Say one negative thing about Tesla.
I didn't. That was the thing, is I was like impressed, and they're like, you are the most negative person that we've ever seen in our entire, I could never be on a road trip with you. And it was like, what did I even say?
I know.
And evidently I am a less than expert operator too.
Yeah. Doug knows nothing about cars at all. Like,
dude,
what the hell, dude? Why are you? This is favorable. Like, I enjoyed it. I didn't even say that it was soulless.
What, dude?
I might have thought it, but that was a previous episode.
I absolutely think electric vehicles are soulless. But that's neither here nor there.
No, and the thing is, there's no reason that full self-driving cannot come to my Yukon.
No.
It's not an electric vehicle thing. It's just the GM is lazy and technology seems to be above their pay grade thing.
No, they're spending all their money replacing 6.2 liters, but that's neither here nor there.
And auto start stop. They had to put that nonsense on there.
That's right, dude.
But they couldn't give me a self-driving vehicle. No, it was cool, man. I appreciate Doug giving me the opportunity. He's got a beautiful car. And that's the first time I got to see it. It was quite hilarious because sometimes it was a little self-aware. It went to the wrong house when it was trying to come to my house.
It was sure.
Like I watched him too. He's like, like as he's turning into the wrong driveway. I'm like, well, okay, cool. That was fun. And then it got a little confused because on the summons thing twice, it tried to brake check a guy. And then it just gave up one other time. So it's a learning process, you know. It's there, but I enjoyed it. I like Mad Max. You're probably going to get a ticket if you drive around in Mad Max because it's a little bit too mad or too max. It drives like you're in New Orleans. Like it knows how to navigate and maneuver the mean streets of NOLA like an angry local. So
it has five. I'm sorry, Moger.
I was just going to say, the problem is it drives like you're in an Altima in New Orleans, and you probably should not drive like you're in an Altima.
Not if you care about it.
If you care about your car.
It has 5 driving profiles, and 3 of them consistently break the speed limit.
Well, Mover's okay with that.
It was awesome, though. It was a good time. And we did a field trip. That's why we were doing it, which that video I think is going to come out really well.
Good.
A little bit of a departure from what we normally do on my channel, but that's coming out next month. But what about you, man? What's broken this week?
Nothing. I had a pretty, I had a great week, man. So you know, my son's 7 and he's getting more competitive. So he wants to do some racing. So I took him to he's raced in motocross races before, but we've been a little bit more consistent. So we took the camper, the old Winnebago, and went camping / racing this weekend, and it was super cool. My son's only 7, but I mean, literally, he caught bluegill, he fished, he swam, he races dirt bike, he played. I mean, it was like pretty much the dream weekend for a little boy. And I tell you, you know, we're talking about electric cars, a unique thing, and I race too. So let me ask you, Mover and Doug, in the realm of race cars, do electric cars compete with gas cars?
In what way?
I don't know, circle racing, autocross. Do they allow electric cars to compete?
They do autocross. I know that for
very, very serious competitors in autocross.
But they compete at the same time on the track, so they race one another.
No, not door to door. Although there was one in Champ Car. I have raced against one. They don't last. Weird? No, they just don't last. They don't have enough juice to make a 12-hour endurance race. So
yeah. So in the sport of motocross, the bike is the Stark Varg, and it's programmable. You can be like, I want an 80 horsepower bike now. Oh no, I changed my mind. I want a 30 horse bike. Anyways, I've seen them. I've never actually raced one, and I didn't realize I was racing one. And at least in motocross, when I'm behind somebody trying to pass them, I'm doing all kinds of stuff. And what I end up start doing is I try to get on the gas earlier and brake later. Well, I couldn't hear it. And it took me a minute to realize, holy shit, that's an electric bike.
Watch your language.
Sorry.
There are people in the waiting room.
Yeah. So that was pretty wild. Racing an electric motorcycle. It's pretty wild experience. I've never done that before. And I was just curious if it happened in cars.
The 01, by the way. Just so we're clear. Doug's car is a 14-second car. It's fast,
the Teslas,
but it is not
limited.
It's not a 01. It's no 01.
Yeah, no chance.
Let's not go. Okay, the 01 is its own category of car.
Maybe in the snow.
Maybe no, because he's got rear-wheel drive too.
Okay.
We're both doing donuts in the snow, but the Corvette's totaled. All right, moving on. We have a special guest and birthday wish. He's a big fan of the show. We see him every week, but happy birthday, Alec.
Hello,
what's up,
hello,
buddy?
everybody.
I like your hat.
Thank you. Werewolf.
Look at that.
Oh, that's awesome, man.
Yep.
Happy birthday. Where are you going? Where you
I'm
been?
going home. I've been at football practice.
Look at you, man. That's awesome.
Nice.
Yeah, I got my jersey on.
What does it say?
Rector. has my number on it.
50.
Rector.
52. 52.
Yeah.
Your actual number is 53.
Yeah, my actual number is right here is 53. If I can get it.
You got to remove that 5 in honor of Jaden Daniels.
Oh, it's 30.
30, yeah, that's more legal. Well, cool, man. Well, happy birthday.
Let me go ahead and get in my house, and I'll get somewhere.
What birthday is this?
We
Yeah,
don't know.
Alec.
What birthday is this? Here, just talk to us for a minute.
Yeah. How old are you?
11
Oh, damn.
That's
Wow.
right now or tomorrow?
tomorrow.
Okay. All right. So you're 10 and then
10.99 mover.
10.99. Well, cool.
10.99 years
Well,
old.
Yes.
We just want to tell you happy birthday, man.
Yeah, man. Happy birthday.
Yeah.
Hey, thanks for
We
being
appreciate you watching.
thanks for being a
Yeah.
fan of the channel, Alec. We really
Yep.
appreciate you, man.
You're welcome.
All
Go
right.
back and read the chat. A bunch of people wish you happy birthday.
That's right.
Yeah. Read
Thank
the good
you.
stuff, none of the bad stuff. All right, man. Take it easy.
Take care, Alec.
You
Happy birthday, man.
You too.
Happy
Thank you.
birthday. All right.
That kid's so cool.
Yeah.
Dude.
Cool. All right, Gonky, back to work. Tell us about. Oh, wait, hold on. I gotta do the chat thing. Sharkbait says Cessna 150 flaps 40 and overshooting with full flaps will be an adventure. It will not climb if you keep pulling with full power. It'll stall and torque roll. We've demonstrated that at 4,000 feet AGL fun and games. See what I'm talking about?
Valid, yeah.
Boris says, any chance we see today's Hungarian Gripen crash and Ukrainian MiG-29 no ammo Shahed intercept on the show tonight? The former, maybe. We're an hour into this. The latter is not on our list. Warhorse says, that was the issue. What was the issue with the TH-55 Schweitzer 300 CBs? I've got 40 hours in one of those myself. They're a great trainer. Because the military must always change.
Yeah, dude.
And no air conditioning. Garrett says the AH-1Z new Cobra still has the side stick controls in the front. Nice for training. I'm hoping to get selected for it. Do you think the Army should have picked the TH-73A USN USMC trainer? Oh, it's an AW-110 Leonardo.
Leonardo, yeah.
I mean, that's probably no more of a stick and rudder aircraft than the 505. I think you'll get more out of the Robinson.
Somebody told me that the Leonardo is suffering from some pretty repetitive, expensive maintenance, but don't quote me.
Parts. Yeah, well, they're Italian.
Yeah. Cool looking helicopter, though.
Spider says, but officer, I'm traveling, not driving. Yeah. Boris says Tesla owners are a special breed. Oh, we love Doug.
Doug, you're special.
Easy. now.
Davey says soft winging Wednesday. Gonky, any rag advice?
Dude, keep studying. Finish strong.
What is a soft winging?
Well, back in my day, when sometimes you would do the boat first and then BFM, or the little air-to-air syllabus in the T45, and really the boat was the big deal. So you were considered soft winged if you qualified from the boat and then just had your BFM left. However, since they're not going to the boat anymore, I don't exactly know when they would soft wing, but I mean, congrats, man. Keep studying, man. You're not going to want to let off till you've got like your level 4 qual done, which is probably about 2 or 3 years from now. Sorry.
Until your first stop loss.
Yeah.
Until you're on the Lincoln for 300 days. And then
That's right.
you can give up.
That's right.
Diesel Dan says, fully off topic, but sat in the back of a CF-101 Voodoo this week. The last flare really is just going along for the ride. Also saw a Rhino demo yesterday. It was wild. It was a 2-seat demo.
Cool.
Also, here's some money for that P.O. box number for incentive. What does that mean? Does he need my P.O. box number?
Whose P.O. box number? Yeah.
Yeah. Doug, find this out. Investigate. Report back. Renee says you guys make such a difference in that little boy's life. Good, nice job.
Thanks, Renee.
Is he gone? Now can I say rector? Apparently even newer.
Oh,
Had to wait, dude. I could not. First.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Couldn't
Perfect.
stand it.
Couldn't
Perfect.
stand it. There's so many jokes with that jersey.
I know.
But it's awesome. Is there esports? Never mind, dude. What's the esports version? That's great. Hey, Gonky, talk about the missile thing, will you?
Yeah, sure. Here it is, the missile thing. U.S. Navy unveils AIM-424 Malice long-range air-to-air missile. So here, built quietly by Raytheon's Advanced Technology Division, the AIM-424 long-range LRAAM is capable of hitting targets over 250 miles, 463 commie units away by leveraging its 13.5-inch diameter and aerodynamic profile, outranging any threat, according to Raytheon's Phil Jasper. So it's developed by both the Air Force and the Navy for current and next generation fighters, as the Pentagon looks for additional capabilities in the service for a high-end war in the Pacific, potential high-end war in the Pacific, drawing from program efforts dating mid-2010s that sought long-range air-to-air missiles for competition with China. Let's see. Says its range and speed exceed that of the currently fielded AIM-174B, which we covered that a couple months ago, which is basically the air launch version of the SM-6. And the SM-6 is what basically the Gettysburg uses to shoot down friendlies.
So we know it works.
It works. It works really well, dude, actually. So at least the surface launch version. So it's got special aerodynamic. The AIM, this new missile, the LRAAM, has specialized aerodynamic fins and strakes to enable the missile to retain significant amounts of maneuverability, even with its larger size compared to long-range fielded Raytheon-built AIM-120 AMRAAM, and in development, the AIM-260. The retained maneuverability may allow the missile to engage fighter-sized targets, even with its larger size. So that's the thing we used to make fun of Tomcat guys, whether it was true or not. The Phoenix had crazy range, but we always said that there was no end-game energy on that missile. So I don't know. Apparently, the modern version of that, hopefully, it does. So as far as the broad range of aircraft, including U.S. Air Force 6th Gen F-47 and the Navy's F-35C and F-A-18, and potentially the F-A-XX, all at least one captive carry flight test was disclosed in the Navy's image release dating back to April 2026. A fit test on F-35 appears to have been conducted. And here it is. I think it carried 2 internal in the F-35.
2x0.
That's right. 2x0 and a gun pod, maybe. Right.
Yeah,
so
and 100 rounds of gun.
Yeah. So confirmation of the missile's existence from Raytheon came in a statement from the company's president. And he just says strengthening the fleet's defense and maintaining superiority are essential to address the rapidly emerging long-range air-to-air threats. Our advanced technology team's approach is at the core of doing just that with development of the AIM-424 with increased range lethality and combat effectiveness. So currently the AIM-174 is being fielded by the U.S. Navy, and it's the hottest air-to-air missile that they have. Been in use since 2024. Essentially, that's a stopgap until this and the AIM-260 comes online. So there's
1,000-mile range. Look at that.
Yeah, dude. So exactly. So beyond the AIM-174 and this current missile, the AIM-424, the Pentagon continues to refine requirements around its Air Force long-range weapon that seeks an air missile for the U.S. Air Force was 1,000 nautical mile range. Crazy.
What? Why do you even need a jet at 1,000 miles? Just launch it from something. If you could target something 1,000 miles away, just launch it from your boat.
Yeah, exactly. So here's some,
or your house. You could do it from your backyard.
Yeah, just launch it. Yeah, launch it from a ship, whatever. Here is some unclassified stuff from Hook as far as some pictures. So we already saw that. The carriage on the
Malice.
Yeah, so you can see the Super Hornet there has got, I think, 4 of them. I know it's kind of hard to see. Yeah, mace. That's a different weapon. Sorry. So here, I thought this slide was kind of interesting. The carrier air wing evolution. As you see on the left, CVW is basically fixed wing carrier aviation. So CVW as of today, so there's F-35, Super Hornet, E-2D, and the Osprey and the Growler.
There's no C2. The slide is outdated.
There's no what?
C2A.
Well, yeah. So the obviously the CMV-22 is replacing the C2A, but that's the air wing of today. And then in the middle says the air wing of tomorrow. Then to the right, the air wing of the future. I think tomorrow is the future. But anyways, I digress.
Futures. What is this, like Spaceballs? Now is tomorrow. And tomorrow.
Exactly. So we have today,
Now
tomorrow, and the future. So yeah, but it kind of shows, at least on the unclassed side, what the carrier air wing makeup will be and missiles, right? So here in the not too distant future, mainly Super Hornet, which is still, which is still the backbone of Navy TAC Air. Block 3, though, primarily. F-35C with upgraded, probably some Block 3 and 4, all E2D. And then there's the missiles. The AIM-424 is the one that we're talking about. And then hopefully in the future, we get the AIM-260. And then of the future, CCAs, primarily F-35 and whatever the F-8XX comes to be. E2D is still there.
Will never go away. It's the B-52 of the naval aviation community.
100%. E2D 2.0. Exactly. And probably the V-22 will always be there as well. But then some drones as well. So I thought that was interesting as far as just the makeup that they're,
What's the circle?
What is
FVL?
I don't know. Some sort of, that's the flying saucer, dude.
Oh, the space machine.
The space machine, exactly. And I don't think, what do we have here? Nope, nothing.
Nerds.
Yeah, weapons. This is kind of interesting. So this is, weapons we have today: AIM-120, AIM-174B, 9X, and then future stuff tomorrow, right? Some of the missiles we talked about. So something that a lot of people don't think about, and I didn't either until I became a carrier fighter pilot, was basically the carrier's ability to carry these weapons. Like, how many can we keep on the ship? How easy is it to replenish, right? Because if you're in a shooting war, and you're in a shooting war with a country that is constantly attacking you, you need ammunition, right? Missiles, bullets, whatever. But that was always a question in my mind, as far as like, hey, how many AMRAAMs can this boat carry? And if you have larger missiles, like the longer range AIM-424, they take up more space, right? So I mean, we have newer carriers coming online. I'm sure they have more room for more weapons, but carrier management is definitely something to think about when you're talking about a war, a potential war, hopefully that we never see in the Pacific. And then obviously increased kinematics, network capability. You touched on it, Mover. Imagine 1,000-mile missile. I mean,
dude, you're targeting with satellites at that point.
Yeah, exactly. So network capability, like how are you getting?
That's the Space Force.
Yeah, exactly. And then, I like at the bottom there, they put speed to the fleet, accelerate programs from the inception of fielding. And that was the cool thing about the 174B, was the Navy realized we need a better missile than the AMRAAM, at least more range. And so they took something that we've been using and adapted it to airplane launch. And I guess it is the stopgap missile that they're using now. I don't have any experience using it, but Mover, what's your take?
They should have called it the AIM-420 Bob Marley. Because he gets high, gets fast. Big Bob Marley was.
I like that.
Wow.
Yeah. I like that, man.
Yeah. That's actually a technical term, the big Bob Marley was.
It's got in game. It's got in game.
Yeah. I want everyone to know we are two old, washed up, out of date fighter pilots. We are fighter pilots. We are not trunk monkeys. We're not passengers, but we're fighter pilots nonetheless. But we left this game a minute ago. So anything we talk about from here forward, we have no idea. Please don't take us to jail. If we stumble upon the truth somehow,
God help us.
We have no idea. We love America.
Love him.
Yeah, I love him. So, dude, looking at this, I mean, it blows my mind. This must be what, like the 70s and 80s dudes, when they're like AIM-120, because you can't even get past heaters and AIM-7s. And now you're like, you can just shoot the thing and forget about it? Like, it just goes? What do you mean? What? because I left the community with a mechanically scanned radar that the missile was better than the radar. You know, you were always like, how do I target this thing? Because that's you're solving a problem, right? You have to target it. You have to identify it because you can't just shoot anything. You have to know what you're shooting. Gonky. I'm sure it's hostile. It's 1,000 miles away. It's probably hostile. You know, you have to identify it. Then you have to put yourself in a position to employ, whether that, you know, with your aircraft to impart the best chance that you can for that missile to guide and fuse. Then you're in the weapons engagement zone and you have to assess where you are relative to what the missile is capable of doing. And that all boils down to in-game maneuverability. You talked about it with the AIM-54, where a lot of these long-range missiles, you can shoot them as far as you want, but a 2-degree turn and the thing's defeated because it shows up and, you know, it's a big geometry problem that it has to solve over, in this case, 250 miles or 1,000 miles for that other one. So it has to arrive with enough energy that if the target were to turn or run, well, it could still solve for that equation. Then there's whether it can be detected or you can be detected, right? Because if it's undetected, it changes your thought process because the opponent does not know that they need to turn around and run away or maneuver or whatever. So those are the other problems. Then the other piece to that too is whether the missile just works, right? I mean, sometimes missiles, you know, they're built by humans, so sometimes they just don't work, and that's just a manufacturing thing. Then the final piece to that is your resource management. In a war where you're not facing 2 fighters, you're facing 200. If you're only carrying 4 for your 4-ship, you are going to Winchester yourself out of this fight very quickly. Now, you got enough range that you could probably go home and get some more by the time they show up. But, you know, and do your cap swap. I mean, great range is good, but it all comes down to the in-game. They talked about it in here. They addressed it. They said it is going to have in-game maneuverability. But for me, I would rather have 6 proven missiles that have weapons effectiveness within a reasonable range than shoot something that is hard to identify. And you also have to have rock solid sensors and detection. Whoever's targeting it, whether it's you or somebody else or whatever, all that link has to be completely bulletproof or else this doesn't work. And that's all I will say without going to jail. Gonky, what else you got?
Well, when I was I've talked a little bit about it before. So as a Navy fighter pilot, going through the exercises, the large force exercises of this kind of scenario, it was very apparent to me over 20 years ago. I'm like, man, I need a better missile. You know, we had AMRAAM back then. And, you know, by definition, AMRAAM's a medium range missile.
It's true. It's right in the name.
It's right in the name.
It's right in the name.
So I think somewhere, I don't know, in the early 80s when that thing was really developed, they probably were developing a long range version of it and they just dropped the ball because at least in the Navy, when I got to the Hornet, Tomcat was still flying, but they had just stood down their the AIM-54, the Phoenix. And, you know, there was quite a few Tomcat guys in the air wing when we go do these exercises and it come back and it's like, man, I need a plane that carries more gas, can go higher, faster, and shoot a better missile. It's always like, did I just describe a Tomcat? You know, I love the Hornet, but in their game of fleet defense, and literally that's what today's Navy is talking about, fleet defense. They literally got rid of 20 plus years ago, the fleet defense fighter. The Tomcat guys would tell me they used to be the short leg airplane on the flight deck, which means they had the least amount of fuel. That's until the Hornet showed up. And, you know, they had 30 plus more minutes of flight time than we did. And that's a big deal when you're doing carrier ops and timing, and there's only a certain amount of organic fuel and you're trying to like coordinate manning a vol, right? A DCA lane, or 30 minutes in a fighter is a big advantage. And then of course, Mover talked about the AIM 54 as far as like, yeah, you maneuver 2 degrees and it's never going to get you, but that's at its max range shot, right? Okay, so we shoot it at 75% of its range, right? Or which was still significant compared to some of the other missiles. So you could say that with the 1,000 range shot, where you shoot it and the time of flight is, I don't know, an hour. Who's to say the guy doesn't turn around and go home, right?
He's landed.
He's halfway home, right? But I read about this missile. I'm like, man, you're a little, like, I think it's a little late. Like, this missile should have been out a while ago.
Well, this is a missile for the F-47 or the FAXX. This is a missile for the thing. Because, dude, think about your Block 3, maybe not the Block 3, I don't know. But think about your Super Hornet. How zoomed out do you have to be to even get to a 250-mile scale on your... Everything is just going to be one big cluster of...
Yeah, 100%. As much as I love the F-18 and the Super Hornet, it is a medium range, like, kind of fighter. It's not designed, and you're touching on it, man. It's its legs, its capabilities. It's not an interceptor, long range fleet defense aircraft.
Well, dude, at that point, you are the UCAV. You are the missile truck. I mean, you might as well throw a B-1 up there with 16 of these.
Yeah. And
have it Mad Dog, just launch.
Yeah.
Let me know how it goes.
Yeah. Like I said, as a Navy fighter guy, when I started flying the Hornet, we had a sizable advantage. And then that started changing with tactics. And a lot of it was just driven by, missile development or lack thereof, right? So I look at this missile, I'm like, man, even the 174B, I'm like, man, I wish I could have flown with that thing and done tactics with that thing back in the day when I was flying the jet. But I mean, hey, it's good that things are happening, and it's kind of nice. It looks like the AIM 260 that's going to be Navy and Air Force joint. So hopefully another AMRAAM type missile, which I love the AMRAAM. I think it's a fantastic BFM missile. It's a fantastic BVR missile. I'm a fan. So I'm excited really to see the 260 come out.
Do you think is too far?
Oh yeah, dude. 1,000 miles.
Like, do you think there's a point where it's like, hey, dudes, listen.
Here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna launch. It's gonna go around the world and shoot them in the rear.
Well, like in the past, time travel,
correct.
Like Superman. But the other scary side of this is, that if we're talking about this in the unclass world, China is developing the counter to this, or has something that's even like hypersonic with M-game, no can defend maneuverability.
No escape at 1,000 miles.
Smokeless, yeah. No escape, smokeless.
Oh yeah, dude. Listen. My hat's off to current fighter pilots today. Like, dude, I'm sure there's some ultra scary stuff out there.
This, you get into that war, and guess what? I'm all for sending the drones. Yeah, that's where the UCAVs. You know what? You got it. We'll be back here. Let me know if you need it. I'm gonna run the cap. I'm just the goalie cap. Yeah. I've got it back here. It's fine.
Yeah,
I'll gun any stragglers.
Bring back the Super Hornet tanker. I'll be that guy. Does the drone need gas? Hey, I'm your man.
Yeah. Geez, man. Yeah. You're gonna take the tanker mission back from the drone.
That's right. I want that back. You go do the real mission today.
Oh, dude.
Dude. Yeah.
Oh, that's terrible. Yeah. Well, I mean, good on him. I wish I was part of this fight. Again, all speculative. Don't know anything.
Yeah, like Mover said, if this is the stuff that's available on the unclass side, the classified side has to be super scary. Probably for both sides. They're probably both looking at each other like, pretty wild now. Like,
Yeah. You stay over here.
yeah,
The Taiwan Strait is Hawaii to Taiwan.
yeah, 100%, man. I don't think anybody really wins.
Fox
right?
6 and Fox 9.
Right.
Uh,
Yeah, exactly, dude.
Yeah. Wow. Cool. Well, that's great. Tic Tac had a nice. There he goes. He says, to help visualize, imagine firing a missile from a jet over New York at a target flying over Chicago and still having a quarter of a range left over. This sounds like those stupid math problems in high school. If a train leaves Chicago,
I always had a hard time with those, but yes, it does.
Emerald says E2D to the future and beyond. It's to infinity and beyond.
Yeah, Wombat be proud. Is proud.
You weren't supposed to put the FVL on the slide. It's probably some like gravity fighting vehicle or something. Anti-gravity. Full Afterburner says just make a SAM that goes. I mean, at that point,
Yeah.
it might as well be. It might as well be ground launched. You know, I mean, let's go get habitual line crosser, put it on his Patriot,
Yeah.
let him do it.
Okay, your Hornet gets it another 250 miles. I mean, it's like, I mean, whatever.
Give it to the Gettysburg, and it can shoot down a Hornet at 1,000 miles instead of in the pattern.
Oh, dude, are you kidding? Like, no base will be safe then. Don't give it too much range.
You shot down a jet at Bagram?
Right.
You were in the ocean.
Correct.
Yeah, but he looked hostile.
Hostile.
JD says, send that boy a t-shirt for his birthday on me. Bob says,
Thanks,
adding
man.
to Alex t-shirt fun. Alex, good people, man. Our pilot, can we get an episode where you both tour a carrier museum? Be fun to see you guys react to an old carrier planes. We could do the Pensacola thing.
We could. There's I guess the only carrier they do tours in old would be the one in San Diego, right? The Midway?
Lexington
Or
and
is that
Corpus Christi.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
I think Pensacola would count.
Yeah.
Diesel Dan found something you'd like at a shop a couple weeks back. Want to send you also a happy birthday, Alex.
Thanks, man.
Pete says, Gonky A4 Skyhawk driver here. Good show.
Pete,
Yeah,
sorry, go ahead.
imagine it's like describing the AMRAAM to Pete.
100%. Hey, Pete, hope your wife has a speedy recovery. And thanks for being a fan of the show, man.
Oh, okay. We've got deep intel.
Yeah, yeah. She's all right, but she's just recovering.
Why do you know so much about his wife?
He sent me an email, man. Pete's a good dude. He's been a fan of the show since the beginning.
You're a home wrecker, Gonky.
Mover.
Joe says, as I understand it, the E2D gives the target data, so let's just hang a bunch on the E2. That's what I'm saying. C-17 with...
Yeah. Didn't we? Wasn't that one of the things we covered?
Yeah, they were throwing them out the back.
Throw them out the back.
Yeah.
Just let it go.
Gundam Blade says, evening, Mover, Gonky, and Mighty Doug. I swear to God, I read that as Dong. Hypothetically, question, if Gonky ever leaves the Sunshine State and goes to visit Mover and Doug, would he get a free ride on the Tesla when Alex is coming to the show? Alex was just on
I
the
would
show.
love it. I love a free ride in a Tesla, but I've ridden in Teslas. I'm a fan of the technology. And yeah, Alec was on the show today.
20 minutes ago.
Yeah. Thank you, though.
LFG Drift from North Korea says it's not better than the R37 and PL-17.
Okay.
China #1.
Yeah.
Well, Afterburner USA, they'll test the 1,000 nautical mile missile via the Gettysburg. Yep.
They need to send out a notum. No planes fly.
All right. Let's get rid of some of this junk in the... I can't get rid of that. Doug, can you get rid of all those pictures?
I'll do my best, Mover.
Thank you, sir. Hey, so more Freedom 250 celebrating. There were a ton of flyovers in preparation for the whatever they're calling the Indy series now. IndyCar went to Washington and did a road race on the streets of Washington, D.C. And we had all the flyovers, including the Coast Guard and the Army and the Navy and all the bombers. And Doug, let's just play the good one.
I
Trigger
think
warning for those of you that hate freedom. Those are helicopters doing 60 knots. Those are jets not doing 60 knots. Those are bombers doing knots.
It's awesome.
It's muted.
No, it's not.
Yeah, it is.
There we go.
In case you didn't know what a helicopter sounds like. There's the E2.
I don't know. Is that the Herc?
I don't know. Was that an E2? Those are Ospreys.
Yeah. Those are birds. Are those Cobras?
Those are Cobras.
Yeah.
There's Air Force
One.
Well, it's the Bridge Air Force One. There's bombers. And then the Raptors did like a Uniacre air show. I think they peel off here. Yeah, there's the Navy. Doug, do you have the national anthem one?
Let me look.
Or no, the one how they delivered the pace car.
Oh, that's pretty cool. Yeah,
Okay.
that was all the flyovers. Perfect.
Yeah, play that with sound.
Whoops. Hang on. I had a technical difficulty. Are we allowed to have the sound? Is it
We're gonna
copyrighted?
try and see what happens.
Find out.
So we don't know exactly what the Space Force does, but here they are.
Mhm.
We think they just watch from their nerd castle,
Just talk on the
tell
radio
people what to do. Yeah.
and let the real military do the military
Oh,
stuff.
the dog, puppy dog. Why is the Coast Guard in this? They're not part of the military. Oh,
Oh, perfect.
that's good. Send all hate mail to
to Gonky.
Gonky. Look, they got to get out of there.
That's
Their
cool.
whole-
man.
Is this a very hostile Corvette? Like, why are we doing all this?
It's just are they
Look at the Cobras, dude. This is like Top Gun Maverick.
100%.
Steal it out of the hangar.
100%? Yeah.
I'm surprised the Marines don't pop off a few rounds at it. Oh, dude, it's in the dirt. That paint is ruined.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Okay, we could probably.
Yeah.
It's just comms. We'll mute it. But
So they're loading this thing onto
a platform,
of sorts.
and they're going to sling load it at Hayaka maneuvering.
How many rock chips do you think that thing has on it from
Oh,
the rotor
dude,
wash?
it has no more paint. Marines probably stood on it to get the thing to hook.
They probably did.
The hood's cracked. Now it's been rained on, so you know it's totaled.
Yeah, they probably put this tie down straps on the steering connecting
across
rods.
it.
Exactly.
The Space Force is still up there directing. Oh, dude, the sandblast.
Oh,
That's
does
perfect.
Does it get stuck in the sand when they try to get it?
They don't show it, but I don't understand what their plan was here.
Oh,
And
careful,
why the
growlers.
Hornets? Oh, growlers.
No, those are hornets. You're right.
Okay. Well, they didn't run into each other. That's how we know.
Dude,
That's how you can tell.
That's always
When
funny.
they can fly close together without hitting each
Without
other.
colliding.
Yeah.
So what do we got
And now
here?
the Army's taking over. Space Force still doing their nerd stuff up there in their compound. You guys are great.
Yeah. What? Oh, do they put it in a Chinook?
Yeah.
Look at that.
Oh,
dude, on the
and they're
dirt.
driving it on gravel. Oh, you can't do that.
Oh no.
Oh,
Yeah.
now the dog's going to get in it.
There's so many rock chips and
Oh, dude, then it fell out the back when they climbed out. We're going to have to strap it down.
it's in the back of a seat. Oh, look at that, dude. Fat Amy Escort.
Did Bose pay for this advertising?
Uh,
Fat Amy
Are
just
they gonna-
bingoed out.
are they gonna throw it out? No, okay.
They're going to throw the dude out the back, the driver.
Right. Go get it.
All right, Freedom 250. Now the Coast Guard's back involved.
That's cool.
They had to drive next to the coast in order to get them involved because there were no
You
other
think
reasonable place.
You think the Space Force guys are in the Suburbans?
No, dude, they're in their mom's basement. You didn't see them the whole time. This whole thing is from the
They're
filmed
doing
from
it.
the basement.
They're doing a remote drill.
Yeah, this whole thing,
It's
like, dude, that's their streaming key buttons and stuff.
Oh, dude.
They're gonna close this and start playing some Battlefield 6 or whatever.
Oh,
War
yeah.
Dogs.
Yeah. You guys got it. Cool. We gotta sign off. We gotta
Yeah,
think.
hey, Meatloaf's ready. See you guys. Good game. GG. We love our Space Force. We're not sure what they do, but we
Space
love them
Forcers.
nonetheless. Our Guardians. They could have been called Space Troopers.
So wait, so they dropped off the vet
Mhm.
and it's dry. So did it drive straight from there onto the field to do the pace car work?
Well, no. Then they stopped filming. Then they went and hid it for a couple days, and then they drove it out and pretended like it's called showmanship, Gonky. The magic of film.
So they probably got a new car without the chipped paint.
Right.
Without
One
the
that did
rock
not
stuck in
look
the
like
tires.
a golf ball. Yeah. One that was not pitted up like a golf ball. Put that one for sale.
Yeah, dude. Lightly used.
Didn't have the greasy handprints and the boot marks from the Marines and the
Oh, dude.
probably somebody left their dip cup somewhere in there.
100%, dude. You know, there's like zapper stickers somewhere on that car from like
All over the side. There was
Yeah.
all stickers and nothing else.
from different units. You know, it's probably like underneath the fenders and
Yeah. Hey,
Markers.
listen, it's American.
yeah.
It's a grand sport. It's nice. Doug, what do you have there? What are we looking at?
It's a cool car.
National anthem.
Oh, yeah. Listen to this dude drag it out so they can be on time.
Let me make sure the sound's
Is this for
working this time.
the yeah, okay, yeah, this is for
Yeah.
the 250. Yep.
Okay, ready, go.
Raptors getting out of position. Get back. Get back into position. 8 or whatever number he is. Nailed the timing. I mean, you'd expect that with a B2.
Dude, there's so much stealth and 5th gen going on there, dude. If they screw up the
Surprised anybody even saw him. They were so stealthy.
yeah.
The Department of War claimed that was a 15 jet flyover.
I'm not good at math. 1,
I'm still
2,
trying to
3,
figure-
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9er.
I'm still trying to figure
Was-
that one out.
Was there 6 more behind it?
Well, they are stealth.
Well, that's true. Valid. Does the B2 count for the remaining
Maybe they had a couple, like a 6 ship of Raptors in the Bozosphere above them.
maybe. Yeah. I liked it. It's a good flyover. I think the Raptor guys were a little out of position, but
I like it.
I'm just
Racing
jealous.
and jets, dude. What else is there?
I know.
And Corvettes.
Yeah, all that's very American,
Yeah.
which I dig it.
Yeah. I'm all for it.
Yeah.
It was fun. And everybody had a good time.
Yeah.
An American won the race too. And they have a
Did you-
picture of him with the bald eagle.
Did you watch it?
I watched the last 11 laps. I had to go to a birthday party for a 100-year-old World War II veteran on Sunday.
Really?
Mhm.
Infantry flying.
He stormed Normandy.
Oh, dude, really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. We did it. It was for the sheriff's office. We did where we went in front of his house with the lights and siren on. And then I got tagged to be the camera person. So I got to take pictures and shake the guy's hand and say,
That's
thank you for your
awesome.
service. And he was all like, no, thank you for your service. I'm like, no,
Yeah.
no, absolutely not.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. It's an honor.
Yeah,
Like,
absolutely not.
yeah. No,
You are awesome. But yeah, 100 years old, man.
That's awesome, man. Yeah. Yeah.
Actually, it's tomorrow. It's the same as Alex's birthday.
Unfortunately, we're losing those vets
Yeah.
by every day is not good. So
Yeah. Well, there's no more fighter guys, right? Like the last fighter, Air
I don't
Force
think there's-
fighter pilot.
I don't think there's any more aces left.
Oh, yeah. There's so many categories. Like,
Yeah.
it's crazy. All right. Well, let's see what the kids at home are saying. Lance says B1 with a load, so to speak, of 424 sounds like a party. Yeah, it sure does.
Yeah.
Well, Afterburner says note them across the whole U.S. East Coast for the test. Yeah.
Yeah.
Tom says they got the Stig in on it.
Oh yeah, the driver,
What's the driver?
the Stig from Doug, help me out. The British
Top Gear.
Top Gear, yes. The Stig. He was the driver that all the guests would race.
Oh, okay. Tom says Raptor was trailing the heavy needed distance. That's funny. Old Navy guy says, Gonky, why didn't you go to Hook 26? It was epic. Yeah, Gonky. And why don't you have a mustache like this man, Gonky?
Ah, yeah. Man.
How can you call yourself a naval aviator without a mustache?
It's a long story. Anyways, yeah, I wasn't at Hook. You know what? When I'm done with the military, I probably will go to Hook, but I'm still participating in some capacity. So, yeah, man, I'll make it there one of these days. I've gotten some invites, and I am looking forward to going.
Okay. Tom says, good evening, gentlemen. Thanks for the showing the flyover. Super Troopers 3 out on film. Meow.
I love it. Dude.
All right, Gonky.
What we got?
These next couple are for you because
here we go. All right. So we've got the first ever combat exercise between China's J-16 heavyweight fighter jets and the French-made Rafale fighters took place on Sunday, according to the People's Liberation Army Air Force. We've got some really cool footage here of that. So they were operating their J-16s with the Egyptian Air Force, who were flying the Rafales. It's about a 4-minute video, but it's some good stuff in here. I do not speak the language.
He said, this is a jet behind me. It will not hit me because it will turn. Yeah, I'm confident.
In Russia, it's a flanker, but we copied it. It's now called a J-16. Clearly, they're in the desert.
Dude, look how high he's sitting in the back. I love that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Slick wing, dude. They came to party.
Yeah, that airplane is totally slick.
That is a hot rod.
Yeah, that'd be a lot of fun.
Yes.
A lot of fun. There's a C-17 on the ground. We didn't notice.
The chiropractor must be on standby after the sortie.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Dude, this is awesome. That's such a good-looking jet.
It is. It is. I think here they're doing some BFM, man. Look at it. Leading edge slats out.
Do they not have helmets, or is that a helmet?
There goes the Rafale.
One circle.
Yeah.
Defensive.
Look at that, man.
One circle.
Remember that sound mover?
Oh, gosh, man.
I know, dude. I know. I'm so jealous. Yeah, so they're turning and burning here with the Rafale.
Does this one have any thrust vectoring, or is it just straight nozzle?
I don't, dude. I thought all Su-30s have thrust vectoring.
Yeah, I didn't know if the J-16 did.
There's a MiG-29.
Yeah, it bingoed out after the first set.
Yeah.
I was victorious because this jet is much better.
Yeah. Now, I mean, dude, take a look at how clean that airplane and that work.
Look at the floor.
That's what I'm saying. Look at how clean everything is. You think that jet's ever flown?
It just flew. We watched it.
Yeah. So here they're in a briefing room. And honestly, I don't know, man. It reminds me of, things that I used to do.
Dude, every fighter pilot's the same. Doesn't matter what country. These are all the same mannerisms.
Yeah. He's like, no.
Somebody coughed and was like, oh, shit.
That's right, yeah. Yes, yeah. And they're speaking English.
Really?
He's speaking English, yeah. Well, I don't know if that's their common language, because, I mean, I'm sure...
Oh, IKO.
The Egyptian pilots probably don't speak Chinese.
Dude, you lost cool points going up the ladder with your kneeboard on.
He's a wizzo, bro.
Not
okay.
Cool.
How many more lights do you think they need?
Lights? Oh, my God. Wow.
Hey,
Looks
no,
like
you're...
about an alien.
So there's
now
no
get rid of that
vectoring.
volume thing.
Sorry. So there's no thrust vectoring. Look at that.
Oh, that's Gonky, dog.
I was wrong.
That's still a 9G jet without it.
Look at that HUD.
Yeah.
中埃空军联训主要是从1对1和
What does he
2对
say?
2的基础性空战对抗
Gonky, translate.
逐步向体系化的联合作战推进。
All of us
在
Asians
双方
aren't
飞
the
行员
same.
默契度
Mover.
提升的同时
Yeah.，
可
That's
以
the
更
wizard,
有效
dude.
的
He doesn't
对
know.
战术战法
He's very
和战
confident,
术
though.
应用
I
进行交
filmed the
流，
merge. Well, yeah,
同
because they're
时
going
有
to
利于促进双方飞行员的技战
Fuji.
术
I
水
heard
平
that.
和实战能力的提升。
What do you say? 12 Gs.
Fuji, yeah.
Yeah.
Rafale. So they're over here to try to sell them away from their Rafales, more than likely, right? That's the whole plan here. Get rid of Vipers and get these things.
Yeah. So I don't think there's anything else.
I mean, that's
Cool on
basically what
this.
China does is they go places to sell their jets. I mean, it makes sense.
Yeah. So do you bring up a good point? So this is the obviously the first time, right? They've taken the J16 out like this and done this kind of exercise. But I think you're 100% right. It's a chance for them to showcase the J16. Hey, do you guys want to buy some of these? Look how well they performed. I have no idea how well it performed against the Egyptian Rafale or any of the other fighters that they have. But I think you're right, Mover. It's the plot to sell some airplanes, which is cool. I mean, sure, they're going to get some good training between the two, and I'm jealous. I would have loved to have been there and participate. I think multi-nation different airplane exercises, even though they can be a little bit painful, I think some of it's fun because you
Slick jet, dude.
You learn a lot. Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, I mentioned it on the show before. The best exercise I was ever a part of is when the Air Force brought Raptors, Eagles. We had MiG-29, Su-30, F-18, Hawks, all fighting one another.
Egypt's. I mean, it was what, a year ago the U.S. brought Vipers and fought them, and they had some cool shots of them like over the pyramids and stuff.
Yeah,
Egypt's a happening place.
Yeah, yeah, but I mean, this is just another example of China's expanding. I don't want to say just expansion in general, right?
Well, they're trying to be the new Russia, right? It used to always be U.S. Western equipment or Russian equipment, and now it's
right
Western equipment, Russian equipment, Chinese equipment.
Yeah, maybe some Turkish equipment, right? I mean,
Turkish equipment. Yeah, I mean,
there's more than one vendor. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. French, exactly. Swedish. So, I don't know if I'm sure. I mean, on the unclassed side, we may see some results from.
Well, but I mean, the J16 is not a new platform, right? I mean, if they'd have brought J20s or the J35, then honestly, I'm surprised they didn't bring the J35 because they're trying to sell that to other countries.
Yeah, I think China, like America, is a little bit, I don't want to say squeamish, but they're careful with countries that have some U.S. stuff.
Yeah, they've only brought them to air shows as not as demos, but as sticks, like the static displays. Like they'll fly them as models, or actually you just come out and fly it there and then leave it as a static display. I don't think they've done any demos with it yet.
Yeah, that's probably in the future, but
yeah, well,
I mean, it's cool, man. Like I said, I would like to see. I would like to see some of the unofficial results.
It's good footage, man.
It is. Do the sounds, the J16 doing its thing. I'm like, oh, the buffeting and
they were offensive.
Yeah,
they were offensive.
I did.
They were offensive. Now, whether they started that way, I don't know.
Send all Egyptian hate mail to
Mover. I know. Great. We'll put a jihad on you too.
That's right, dude. The J16, the big fighter, making a comeback.
Hell yeah. EFK says, how can you be a car guy and not know who's Stig for Top Gear? It was the only most popular car show. Isn't it British though?
Dude, honestly, I think it was probably the greatest car show of all time.
Yeah.
Even
it was literally the most popular TV show in history.
Yeah.
Okay, whatever. Anthony says, got a Hook 70th anniversary challenge coin from Hook 26 from my boss this past weekend. Wow. Can't wait to get myself next year. Government contract fuel, civil here. Civilian.
Okay.
Cornelius.
Awesome.
Old Navy guy says, Robin Olds had an epic mustache, just saying.
He did.
This kind of looks like a Tom Skerritt mustache. Viper.
It's better. It's better than any mustache I can grow.
Three Greens Ambo says, cool exercise. Now, when can we see the HUD footage from their foul gunning the J-16s? I don't know.
See, Mover?
The Chinese only showed us the one thing, so we have to assume that's how the whole thing went. That's how it works.
Yes. They had to win, or else do not come back.
Speaking of having to win.
Yes. Oh.
The Queen of Thailand has trained for a solo Gripen flight. Her Majesty the Queen Suthida is scheduled to undergo training on Royal Thai Air Force Gripen fighter jets from today, August 20th, until September 4th in Surat Thani, progressing through the RTAF's pilot training procedures towards a solo flight. According to a report from an Army reporter dated yesterday, August 19th, Queen Suthida is already a pilot, will train to fly the Gripen herself. Her Majesty has reportedly made several private visits to Wing 7, known as the home of the Gripen, where she spoke with pilots who had carried out operations to protect the country and studied the fighter. Please scroll down. Wait, now scroll back up. Now stop. Now scroll down a little bit. Just come on, Doug, really. You know what we want to look at. Show me the Queen, Doug. Show me the Queen. That's the
You want
Queen.
the next picture of her also?
No, I just want the whole thing. You got it like halfway. So
There we
thank
go.
you.
It
Thank
wouldn't
you.
click. There we
Yeah.
go. It was between mouse clicks.
Anyway, now I'd like to continue on the story. Before the Gripen training, Her Majesty underwent flight training in an L-39 and completed several simulator sessions. Her performance during the training was assessed as excellent. This week, she's been going through some simulator training with the Royal Thai Air Force at Don Muang before moving on to training an actual Gripen at Wing 7. The program will follow the RTAF's pilot training procedures, with Air Force overseeing the training and providing guidance as Her Majesty progresses towards a solo flight. Scroll down. Here's her. You can do it. There you go. Note the mighty Viper in the background.
Yeah.
Anyway, continue. She'll become the first queen in the world to fly a fighter jet and a Gripen. The development was also described as great for Saab, the manufacturer of Gripen, and the Royal Thai Air Force. In similar news, Princess Sarvanavia Nariratana Rajakanya visited Linköping, Sweden, where she observed a live demonstration of the Gripen D and learned more about Swedish air technology. Gonky, please tell us about this.
I think it's cool, man. Good on her, you know. If I was her, I would want to be flying the Gripen. In fact, I'd be like, hey, what else we got on the hangar or on the tarmac? No, I think it's funny. For me, the part that stood out was, you know,
she's doing the best. She's the best.
Which reminds me when I was the NATOPS officer in the RAG, the big Navy air boss. They're like, you're going to do his NATOPS check, which was his check in the airplane. So who shows up to the brief? It is the admiral, his aide, my boss, who is a Navy captain, and me. And I had a buddy helping me. And so we go and he's a Wizzo. Rio, Tom, he was a Rio. And he says to me, he goes, Gonky, I want to do this from the front seat to experience what the pilot would experience. I'm like, okay, sir. He gets in the front seat. The first thing I give him is an engine fire at like 80 knots. And he's like, throttles off. Everything shuts down. And we're just zorching down. And I'm like, put the hook down, sir. And he puts the hook down and we snag the wire. And we get in the debrief after the whole thing, man, it goes as you would expect. And it's so funny. Admiral goes, well, Gonky, how'd I do? And I go, well, sir, and my skipper, he goes, it was the best you ever saw, wasn't it, Gonky? I said, yes. I signed his NATOPS. I was like, thank you, sir. It was an honor. But that's how I imagine Her Majesty's flight training probably went.
Oh, yes. Number one.
Yeah, number one. Hey, listen, you know what? She's probably a competent pilot. She's probably a great pilot. Hope she has a great time.
It
in the
seems
Gripen.
like an
I'm jealous.
abbreviated course. Couple flights in the L-39, couple sims, and you're out.
Yeah, but dude, at the same time, here's the thing, so they're probably like, listen, she absolutely cannot crash this airplane. So I could see them giving her as much training as she needs to reach a standard that they deem acceptable.
How do you
That's just me.
debrief that?
Like I said, you get stopped in mid-sentence like I did, and your boss tells you best ever sign it.
No, I mean, like, she does the whole Family Guy. How much signal I need? Good luck, everybody else. And just zorches across. I mean, how much power does a Thai queen actually have?
I don't know, but I mean,
let's look it up. Let's figure this out.
In that culture, it wouldn't surprise me if they actually have like somebody from the Gripen factory.
Yeah, there's no official or
training her.
constitutional political power.
It wouldn't surprise me if they had, no kidding, like Gripen factory guys there, test pilots, helping her out. Not helping her out, teaching her.
Oh yeah. She went to the factory.
Yeah.
They need to see this work too.
100%.
Imagine Saab's like,
nobody wins if this goes sideways. So they need to get her as much training as she needs. And that's it. Who knows how much that is. Yeah. So she can safely fly the airplane. And I'm pretty confident, like you said, there's quite a bit of skin in the game. So I'm pretty sure it's going to be okay.
Listen, I support it. I am all for
jealous.
Women's rights.
I'm jealous.
So
I'm all for flying in the Gripen. Like, I'm not royalty, but you can sign me up.
Feminist.
Okay.
I think more queens should do it. The Spanish girl, she's doing that.
That's right. That's right.
I'm here to help if needed.
Well, it's not the first time royalty, right, gets involved in aviation, right? Was it Prince Harry that flew Apaches or something like that for the, I mean, so look, it's not the first time that, royal family members participate in their country's military. I think a little bit of it is actually a good thing. Probably too much is not the best, but yeah, I think it's cool.
Okay.
We'll cover the flight when it becomes available.
We hope she doesn't end up on the Mover and Gonky show.
Well, yeah, listen, if she has,
true. We don't just cover accidents. We cover all kinds of good things.
No, this ain't an accident show. Like for sure, 100%. Saab and Thailand, they will make a nice video of it. It'll be a grand occasion, and it will be, I think, a cool video to watch.
I like it.
Yeah,
we should fly the Gripen.
Mover. You're opening old wounds in my heart, dude. I have a couple.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
RM Nevada says, how hard can it be? You two can be queen for the day. In the US, you can on any given Sunday.
That's right.
EFK says the best thing about Top Gear is they were equal opportunity offenders. No matter the country, they would not go easy on you.
Great show.
Speaking of the Gripen, news from Hungary. Hungarian Gripen pilot ejects. This morning, Air Force pilot had to eject from his Gripen fighter jet. Preliminary information says no injuries reported on the ground. That's not necessarily true. There's another report that came out later that said that it was a 51-year-old with 2,000. Gonky, there's still hope for you. 2,000 fighter hours. Spinal injury with surgery tomorrow. It was a J-39 or a Gripen JS-39C, number 31, was armed and in combat training during a quick reaction alert standby. Further reported loss of instrumentation, emergency landing, followed by a runway incident ejection. Loss of instrumentation. Do you have the video? I think it was just I don't think it was anything.
I do not.
loss of instrumentation. I think that first link had a.
I can check.
Dude, that could be an engine flame out.
I've got a still photo.
Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah.
That's pretty sad.
Well, yeah, good.
Loss of instrumentation. So, I mean, depends. It looks like it was a nice day, but weather, weather with some kind of generator or
Yeah, if you lose,
electrical issues in the weather, spatial disorientation, get it recovered.
yeah. I mean, if you lost the engine in the F-16, you'd probably have limited instrumentation, right? Just battery power,
You got
or
everything.
rat, or whatever.
You got
guys have
a full
rat?
HUD.
Okay.
You got an EPU that'll run everything. I mean, not everything, but it'll run enough to get you down. The scariest thing was an engine failure with an undercast layer, because you're just laying it on the diamond at that point, because you can't fly a profile to fly like an ILS.
Right.
So you have to build your own 10 to 15 degree wire on runway heading with a diamond on the end of the runway. But that, I mean, it looked like the weather was great there. I don't know what the
Depends on how long ago, that picture was taken from the incident.
right. There was a picture, Doug, somewhere in there with the smoke, but showed kind of the weather conditions. But the important thing is that it was a successful and safe ejection. Why is that funny?
Nothing. I just glanced at the comments and but yeah, you're right. Successful ejection. Sorry, bad timing.
That's great. That's great. That's great. Send all hate mail to Gonky.
If I was 51 years old and punched out, dude, I would definitely have a spinal injury myself.
Didn't hurt Thomas Cruise at 60 at Mach 10.
Yeah.
To
Lucky.
be fair, his spine is shorter.
That's true. There's less vertebrae.
Okay.
Sorry.
Well, thanks for ruining my topic. Why don't you go ahead and talk about this then?
All right. Well, what we have here is all right. So Indonesian Air Force Sukhoi jet runs off the runway at Sultan. I can't pronounce that airport.
Hassanan.
Is that it?
Hassanan.
Yeah, you did it better than me. Sukhoi Su-30 fighter operated by the Indonesian Air Force experienced a runway excursion overrun at the international airport at around 11 o'clock. I guess, was that local time? On Monday, August 24th. The incident occurred on runway 13 with the aircraft coming to rest in a grass area beyond the runway. The airport operator said the incident was being handled. Commercial flight operations remain normal with flights using the other runway. The cause of the incident, aircraft condition, and the crew have not officially been disclosed. We have, let's see, make it large.
Dude, that's crazy.
Yeah.
It's like the gear collapsed, but that obviously when you go off-roading like that.
I mean, it stopped relatively close to, the fence in this road. So, I mean, dude, look at how well traveled that road is. That could have been really, really
Look
bad.
at that. Yeah.
Yeah. So, there's another.
Go back. Was the canopy still on or was it just up?
It looks open. Yeah, it's open.
So there was no ejection or anything like that. Okay.
No. So hold on. Let me stop sharing this here for a second. Perfect. Yeah. Oh yeah, there's the side view. So putting out the fire.
Do they not have fire on the?
No, they do. So there's the.
Oh wow, not ARF.
Yeah. So that's.
It's like the volunteer brigade.
Yeah, but I mean they're doing their thing, which is good, and you can see. I mean that thing is right. I mean right off the end of the runway, and it looks like they've got a little embankment.
Dude, it's good that the embankment was there.
Yeah,
that probably slowed them down, but collapsed the nose gear.
Yeah, I think it looks like an embankment mover, but I think they actually graded that part of the earth to make the runway level so they could extend the runway.
Okay.
I mean, it kind of looks like that to me, but I don't know. What do you think about this?
I would not be trying to pat out a fire on a jet with my shirt. That's probably not going to do much, but I'm not a firefighter. As far as this goes, you know, I mean, any number of things, brake malfunctions, obviously the first thing you think of, pilot error, landing long, landing hot. You know, any of those things could be a factor. Doesn't look like the weather is all that bad just from what you showed, but definitely looks like it's something that they're fortunate that it was no injuries, right? Looks like it could have been something much worse.
Yeah, you know, the Su-30 or the Su-30s and the J-16s, a lot of them use a parachute. So I didn't see. I mean, maybe it was laying in the dirt, but like you're saying, we were landing long and fast, and any airplane is not a good place to be. There's always a joke in the Navy. If you end up off the end of the runway, two things better be true. Your flaps better be at full, and you better have the hook down. Right? It's like, I don't know.
Well, what does it double your speed by the board? So 80 at the 4 board, 60 at the 3 board.
Yeah. So you're talking about monitoring your rate of deceleration.
Right.
So that's right. On a short or even on a long runway, right? If you're just letting it coast to the end, you want to start making sure you're reaching your braking performance numbers, basically, is what Mover's talking about. So
yeah, the boards being, I mean, this airport probably didn't even have it, but
distance to go.
Distance to go. Every board is a number, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 5 being 5,000 feet, 4,000 feet, whatever. Yep. And the rule of thumb is double the board. So like at 5,000 feet, 100 knots, 4,000 feet, 80 knots.
100%. I mean, I used to do that a lot. I'd let it coast until I'd fudge on the safe side, but until I was approaching my numbers based on what board I was passing. And then you get on the brakes. Because if you scoff that, and you'll find yourself basically not able to stop the airplane. So, but in this case, man, I don't know if they had, there's no details. I don't know if they had a brake problem, tire failure,
hydraulics,
yeah. It does look like, though, nobody was hurt, which is the important thing. So that's good. No civilians were hurt. Jet didn't careen into that heavily populated road, and looks like they just opened the canopy and walked out, which, I'd rather do that than punch out on the ground. But
do you know if it has ABS? They put ABS on those jets.
It has to, man. I'd be super surprised. Maybe it doesn't, but I'd be surprised if it didn't.
I mean, it's sunny there, but we don't know if it just been raining, wet runway.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know somebody that's blown a tire or two on wet runways.
Who? Hey.
No, wrong way.
Listen, you get a free tug pull back to the.
You get a free
ride. Exactly. I didn't come out right.
Yeah, we're going back to the Thailand thing again.
Yeah, we're going back to Thailand. Yeah. Listen, it's the economical way to get back to the line. So yeah. Oh, we were talking about if it's wet, like in Indonesia, right? They'll have a passing thunderstorm, I'm sure, just like in Malaysia. And the wherever there's paint, so center line, runway markings, where there's paint, sometimes you can land even with ABS, and you'll hit it. It'll flat spot, blow a tire, and you're off to the races. You blow a tire, your braking performance is out to lunch. So,
yeah,
those end speed numbers that we talked about are only valid with good tires.
I'm sure they'll investigate.
Yeah,
I didn't know they even had Su-30s.
Yeah,
that's cool.
Yeah,
but they're looking we're not going to get to it, but they're considering the J10. So,
yeah, makes sense.
All right, back to the chat. Cozy says, Gonky, did you see Mooch's video interview of Tomcat pilot that had a cold shot at night?
I did not, but that has to be very terrifying.
Okay. Sharkbait says, Thailand, insult the royal family at your apparel.
I love Thailand. I visited there numerous times when I lived in Malaysia. I love Thailand.
I'm not insulting her.
No, we're not
If
insulting
anything,
her.
it's the opposite.
Yeah,
I'm wooing.
it's pretty awesome.
Old Navy guy says Gonky at Hook, lots of active duty, and you can see your buds and have seen Afra in the flag panel. How come Mover can't get a job?
Yeah, no, I know.
Listen,
I know.
Are you connected, Old Navy guy? Because VFC 204 is getting Super Hornets. Mover needs a job.
Yeah. You know what? I'd even follow you back. That'd be awesome.
You'd be
Yeah.
87 years old by the time that transfer happened.
Dude, I'd be like a real life
Maverick.
like Maverick.
You would
Like
be
this guy
Maverick.
just won't go away. He's like a sticky booger.
You would be Timu Maverick, the Asian version.
Yeah, exactly. No, I know. man.
Alibaba Maverick.
Listen, I get heckled every year to try to go to Hook, but like as long as I'm still serving in the DoD, I didn't
Dude,
go.
Don't even bullshit people. You don't go because you hate to travel.
I don't like to travel. That's true, but I will.
You're not going to get on an airliner. If you
I
could
will-
take the RV,
I will go to Hook. Just not
Manchester.
now. I will, dude. 100%. Of course, I'll go to Hook, man. I want to be out of
that's-
the game completely. Though.
Is that how it works? She's a queen mover. Does that mean she's married? Is that true? Queen Latifah? That doesn't mean anything.
Oh boy. Oh, what's
This is
the
why
time
Mover
on?
stays in the United States.
Yeah, exactly.
I love America.
I guess going to find a Thai wife now is out of the question.
I don't understand your culture.
That's funny.
Pete says, Mover, Gonky, and Wombat, you're invited to the Attack Ready Room Hospitality Suite at Hook 27 A4s Forever. Thanks, Pete.
Thanks, man.
EFK says, what's the cutoff age to be a fighter pilot? Because Vietnam had a lot, such as Joe Kittinger, who was still flying combat mid-40s in Vietnam.
Oh, dude.
Well, you could go
30.
28 years as an 05 without a waiver. So, depending on when you started, that would put me at 51 if I went all the way to 28.
Well, I mean, usually in the Navy, CAG and DCAG fly operational missions, and they're 06s. They're
Yeah.
probably the most senior pilots flying.
Wasn't there a Hornet guy that was like in his 60s?
I think it was at VFA 204 with you, wasn't he?
Scorch? No.
Scorch, Scorch.
No, when Top Gun Maverick came out, because I remember I was trash talking the 60-year-old thing, and there was a guy who's like, I'm a Oceana, and I'm 60-something years old.
Man, I don't know. But kudos to him, man. His back and neck have to be absolutely just
Yeah,
crushed.
dude, because the older you get, the more you realize you don't have to pull all those G's.
That's true.
Old Navy guy says, I work for 3 air bosses, Bullet, Miller, Kinney, Whitesell, and Underachiever. So, yes.
You're not that old Navy guy, because I recognize some of those names.
That's because you're old, Gonky.
That's true. Maybe you are old and I'm old.
Yeah. You're
That's
just
funny.
young on the scale of old.
Oh, dude. It's terrible.
Yeah. Anyway. All right. Did you want to cover this one, Gonky?
Which one?
Did you know more about this?
Nah, I don't, sir. It's very sad, though.
Yeah, so Super King Air did an emergency landing in Canada, and initially we thought it was going to be a good news story. Here's the video from inside the cockpit. Play that, Doug.
It says surviving a plane crash.
Yeah, it's just the people, for whatever reason, put the horns or whatever.
Yep.
The masks are down.
Wow.
So it
Okay.
landed on a highway, and unfortunately, one person was killed in a vehicle. But what's interesting to me is that you wouldn't think a twin-engine aircraft would be landing on a highway short of some condition that would cause dual-engine failure, like we saw with the NetJets crash. Sorry, the NetJets crash, where it was an issue that affected both sides. fuel is usually the one that's very common, whether it's starvation because you ran out or starvation because of a mechanical issue. Typically, they're independent. So beyond fuel, there's really nothing in common between the two sides. But they made a successful landing on a highway. And then, unfortunately, you know, we've seen so many near misses. I call it near misses because, I mean, they're very, very close. Where we had the Pensacola one most recently, where the 18-wheeler was, gosh, feet away.
Yeah.
And we've covered so many others. This is the first one where we've covered it recently. And unfortunately, they hit a car, and that car resulted in a fatality, which that poor person had no idea.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they actually have pictures of it was a truck, I think, that they hit.
Vehicle.
And it smashed. It went. So it looks like the left propeller blade and spinner are in the middle of the road. The problem with landing Doug's got it. Put it up there, Doug, if you get a chance. So there's the spinner and the blade all together.
Is that from hitting the vehicle though?
I don't know, man, but I mean that looks like an F-150, and it's pretty caved in the front. You know, the sad thing is, I mean, a King Air, a Super King Air 200 is a pretty large airplane to be landing on a road. It's not like the little Piper that we saw a couple weeks ago that successfully, you know, landed on the highway in Pensacola. A King Air 200, that thing, I mean, it's got pretty good wingspan. And I think it's a lot harder in an airplane like that not to just hit stuff, unfortunately, you know. So I think they did a fantastic job, whatever the reason, you know, that caused them to have to land on a road in a twin engine airplane. I agree with you, Mover. I'm curious what caused the landing, but whatever that reason, I think they did a very good job of landing the airplane. I mean, it's basically in one piece, gears down, it's not collapsed. They got her stopped on the side of the road. The wings and everything are attached, just missing part of the.
Yeah, I mean, they got out via the air stairs.
Exactly. So yeah, that's sad. And you know, tragically, I think they probably tried to, you know, avoid as many cars as they could. I mean, once they're on the ground, you're kind of driving it. But at that point, dude, in an airplane that size on a road like that, there's not much you can do.
Looks like the spinner hit.
Yeah.
Like the stop spinner is what hit the car, and that's what ripped it off.
It does, man, which is sad.
I don't know. Obviously, the Canadian Transportation Safety Board will have their, but man, imagine you're just driving along and
that looks like beautiful country too, man. On a nice day, I mean,
just enjoying a nice day up there, and
you're schwacked by.
And then from the pilot's perspective, you know, you thought you saved the day and put it down.
Yeah. I mean, you did. I mean, how many people were in that King Air, right? I mean, those are all paying customers. So, I mean, it's that elation and sadness for them, I'm sure, at the same time, right?
Yeah. All right. Well, that was our last story. You know what, dude? We've got time for this.
What do we? Oh,
mental health. We haven't done a mental health minute in a while.
Are we really going to play the Guns N' Roses song like I suggested?
I don't think we want to get demonetized.
Demonetized. Copyright strike. Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, this is more, let's call this more conversational. Gonky knows this more than anybody.
Oh, jeez.
I have not been very patient lately.
Ever.
Well, I take that back. I have been very patient lately, but my patience has been tested because what are you doing? What is happening? What is this?
I got it now.
See, my patience is being tested here, but it's a demonstration. No, I mean, as far as career stuff, I've been in a state of limbo for 4 years now, at least on the military side, with specifically the last year has been nothing but, I don't know. I can't tell you. Don't know. Waiting for some answers. And I think back in June, I said, hey, I had to hit the retirement button. And then right after I hit the retirement button, they said, no, you can't retire. I said, okay, well, what can I do? And they're like, well, I don't know, but you can't retire. So I've been in this state of, clicking refresh for a really long time. It is a testament to how incompetent the bureaucracy is, first of all. But second, it is a lesson for me, or it has been a lesson for me in patience, in that I have been spending the time that I could have been devoting to other things, worrying about a future that I have no control over. And I think the lesson for me, at least, and for any of us in general, is that, when you're waiting for that fork in the road and for the path to reveal itself, sometimes you just got to stop and enjoy where you are and the time you have. Because, as humans or as high achievers, we're never happy, and we're always trying to look to the next thing and forgetting about kind of what's happening now. Because I've done some fun things. Doug and I just went to, a cool field trip last Thursday. That was a lot of fun. That was, if the answer, at least from the military side, if it goes one way, I could be very busy. And if it goes another way, I could be very not busy and very sad. But I don't know which way it's going to go. But for the time being, I'm trying to avoid getting into a situation where I'm wasting the time I have now on something that's completely out of my control. So that lesson is patience and just kind of letting it play out and not getting too involved. But Gonky, you're kind of in the same boat, or at least you will be soon. So tell me about this. How does the golden retriever handle it?
Well, so for me, it's easier because I'm a Christian, and I believe that God's got a plan for me. And from my past experiences, I realized that my plan, I always try to do what I believe I'm supposed to do, but it's not always on my timeline. So, all the major things, many of the major things in my life have never happened when I wanted them to happen. I wanted to be a fighter pilot, and I was so close to getting the Marine fighter program. At the last second, went away. But obviously 3 or 4 years went by, and it eventually happened, right? I had to wait. I didn't get married or meet my wife until I was in my 30s. I didn't have kids till I was in my 40s. All things that I wanted to happen much earlier in my life. And I worked really hard to make those things happen, because in my mind, in my heart, I thought that's what, God was calling me to do. And he was, just on his timeline, not mine. So I realized that things that I'm working towards, which I always try to, seek, his plan, may not be when I want them to happen. And even if you're not religious, I think that, like Mover's alluding to, things that are out of your control, you have to have patience, right? Because you can only do what you can do, and then let the chips fall. So, for me, there's just peace in knowing that if I'm doing the right thing, eventually it'll happen, or something will happen that's supposed to happen. And I'm okay with that, because my life up until this point has been pretty good. Even though I'm like you, Mover, I want my chicken nuggets now. You know what I'm saying? And I want them hot, and I want them with Chick-fil-A sauce. So, but that's not how life always works. And I think in general, especially, man, with the internet and instant gratification with this thing, I see it with my kids. Simple things like, dude, we'll be in the car, and my daughter, she's 3. She's like, I want to hear Mambo number 5. And I'm like, wait for this song to end. She's like, I want to hear Mambo number 5 now. She heard it from the Grinch, the cartoon, right? My kids, like, they want music on demand. And I told them, listen, look, back when Dad was little, you listen to the radio, and maybe your favorite song would come on, and you better catch it, because that's the last time you're going to hear it until they play the top 40 again. You got to hear 39 of the other crappy songs you don't want to hear before you hear your favorite song again. Right. So I think the older generation, even older than me, probably had more patience just in life, right? Everything wasn't instant. I mean, dude, I want things now. Amazon, get it to me now, right? So I think as a culture, it's a bit of a cancer, right? So just I think if you're patient in general, you have a calmer, cooler head, and things just turn out better. But that's how I deal with it. That's just me. I don't want to preach or nothing. I'm a terrible sinner, but that's how I handle it. Doug, you, sir?
You guys nailed it as usual. Mover, I agree with you. Particularly at this point in my life, I look back at so many things that I didn't take the time to slow down and enjoy while I was doing them. And some of them I can't do anymore. And it's worthwhile to, whether it's religion, there are a couple of folks in the chat taking a swing at religion. Religion's just another way of having good attitude. Meditation, religion, exercise, whatever it takes to slow yourself down and enjoy what's happening while it's happening. Friendships, kids, your job, your hobbies. If you're always in a hurry to the next thing, and I'm not an especially patient person by nature, but you can learn. And if you're always pushing to the next thing, you're going to miss the thing that's happening right now.
That's why he drives around in Mad Max mode.
I want to get there now.
It's funny how that works. Having the car drive for you makes you patient.
That's valid. Riding around. That's right.
JD says, patience is the calm acceptance that things can happen in a different order than the one you have in your mind. David G. Allen. The problem, though, is some of that stuff, like Doug alluded to, you age out on. While government bureaucracies are doing what they're going to do, you're losing time. Ellie says, take the time it takes, and it'll take less time. Tom Dorrance. Fly Monkey Fly, Luna Fund, and Desire acts as the spark that makes patience necessary. That's why I just hit all the buttons, Gonky.
He's like the elf in the elevator. Just
something's gonna move.
Close the door. Close the darn door.
Something will move. If you just hit all the buttons, it'll be fine. Yeah. Well, that's a show.
Yeah. It's good. Thank you everybody for joining us. Sorry, we'll get Mace on another time. It's always fun to have her. But hey, we had
they all forgot, Gonky. Awesome. If you wouldn't keep reminding them.
Oh, they didn't forget, Mover. Nobody signs on to this show to see our pretty faces.
It's funny. When Mace apologized to me, she's like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I said, Mace, it's the Mover and Gonky show.
Yeah. Are you available next week? The week
they're
after?
They're used to being disappointed.
Correct.
Like, we do this every week. Like, they are patient.
Yeah, yes. Valid. 100%. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mace has a different demographic than we do.
Yeah.
Different target audience.
She brings a little more balance to the show.
RM Nevada says, all good advice. Mover, I've watched several of your videos. Looks like you're having fun. Thanks for sharing. Thanks, RM Nevada. That's what I'm kind of hoping for with the thing we did Thursday, that it turns into something else.
I hope so.
More field trips.
Becomes a whole new thing. But I don't know. Listen, that's enough show. We got one next week. No idea who's going to be on, what we're going to talk about.
At least we will be here.
I think we should just start promising Mace every week because our viewers are up.
That's right.
We got about a 400 viewer bump just from saying Mace is going to be here.
Yeah, Mace will be here.
Yeah, exactly, dude.
Can't wait to see her.
Mace or Ace or whoever.
More DCS streams. Gonky, I think we should do that.
I gotta find a machine, sir.
No, dummy. The thing where you trash talk. We figured this out. Figured this out. Yeah.
Gotcha.
You just talk trash and tell me to shoot everything.
Speaking of impatient.
Yeah. He's hostile.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Brent says he's unsubscribing if Mace isn't here next week. Well, that's one less.
He didn't put it in the super chat.
Yeah. Surprised I even read it. All right. From the
Good night.
bottom of my heart,
Yeah.
thank you for watching.
Thank you.
For whatever reason, you keep watching us and listening,
We appreciate it.
and we appreciate it because this ain't the news or nothing. Good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody. We'll see you.